Hi everybody, I'm Mary Rose Feldman. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and you are here to find out about studio organization. So before we get into that, and before I show you the before shot of my crazy overflowing studio, a little background. So normally my plan with my studio is that the first 2 weeks of January, I always would spend not reorganizing, but cleaning up. When I was doing art shows, my busiest time was always October, November, December. So by the time January 1st hit, my studio was chaos. So my process was always to take those first 2 weeks of January and just do a reset, clean up, clean out, put things back where they belong. Some years it was a little bit more detailed than others. But this year felt different. This year felt like I really needed to do a remodel a little bit. I needed new furniture. I hadn't done this in probably a good 10, 12 years. And in that process, in that time, I found Zentangle. I'm now a certified Zentangle teacher. I'm not doing art shows as much anymore because I'm teaching so much online and at retreats. So it was really in need of more time this year. So what I decided was to delay my cleanup a little bit until early spring, which was supposed to be March. Right now it's early March and I'm already done. I'll get into that later and how that kind of happened. But I decided to delay this because I knew I was going to need more time. And one of the most common things I heard when I would say I'm redoing my studio or I love to organize is people say, I don't know where to start. It's so overwhelming. How do I do it? So I decided that in this process, I would document along the way. And I mean like a video every other day or just in the process. I'm not documenting every single minute. But just to give you guys how I approach it. I will tell you guys how I approach it, and then I encourage you to adapt it for you because everybody's different, everybody's space is different. And before I continue, I also want to say that your creative space is your studio. Whether that is a room, a desk, a dining room, a closet, a hutch, whatever that is your studio space, no matter how big or how small. And when you approach that, you want to go in there with inspiration. And that was kind of my clue is I was starting to walk into my studio and feel weighted down. I would even start working in the dining room or I have a screened in porch or all season porch that I would go to because my studio just felt like it was weighing me down. And that was my first clue that it needed to be changed. So if that's what you're feeling when you're walking into your studio space, creative space, again, no matter what it is, that's a clue that you probably are in need for a refresh. So what I'm going to do, take a good deep breath, and I'm going to show you the before video that I took. Right at the beginning, it's a raw look at my studio. Please remember that this is my full-time job. This is more than just a hobby. It's what I spend all of my time doing on my work days. I do have my work artist hat and then I have my personal artist hat. I make sure I keep them separate so that I have personal time and that my job doesn't take over my life in the creative world. So that's how I approach it. But please remember, I have a big space and I have a lot of stuff because it is my job. It is my full-time job, and I'm incredibly grateful and lucky that I can do this for a living. So here we go. Take a look at this video. Have fun. All right, my friends, I really can't believe I'm going to do this, but in an effort to be completely honest and show you the real life studio that I am going to start this reorg with, I am going to videotape what it looks like beforehand. Lord help us all. So this is just the outside doors. I have some artwork around the outside of my door. None of it's hung very professionally, but it gets the job done. This is in the front of my house. It's the formal living room, which we certainly don't need a formal living room. And I do love this space, but it is really in need of some organization. Right now, it's organized chaos, but as my creativity journey changes, I am now in need of a reorg on here. So I'm going to really try not to make everybody motion sick on this while you go a little bit slowly. But when you walk in, I have two nice, really big windows there. But in that corner is my business area. I have paper, receipts, all that type of stuff, envelopes. This was meant to be my little mindful area. I have my crystals, I have affirmation decks, I have all of that. The intent was to keep it nice and clean, so in the morning I could have a moment of mindfulness. You could see how that worked in my plan. It very rarely ends up with a clear desk, so that needs to be revamped. Underneath is my printer. Then you get my computer. This is where I teach from. I tried a little cork board of inspiration above there. Can't really reach it over the desk, so that didn't really work. Under this window is my watercolor tray that's overflowing right now. Underneath here is glues. So things are fairly organized by topic, but they have not been cleaned out in a long time. And that's pretty much going to be the theme, is that things are organized and together, but I haven't cleaned them out in several years, and a lot of the stuff really doesn't apply to me anymore. I'm going to guess many of those glues under there are dried out. And then these are all the shelves. So what I did when I designed my studio is, if I zoom in, if you can see it, in the back, those little white panels with the big squares, those are metal grids. So when I did my studio, I had the contractor hang these 2-foot by 8-foot grids up on the wall. And the point of this was that I had flexible shelving so I can move around for whatever project. And I didn't want a big piece of furniture, because that big piece of furniture would close in the room. You could actually see it really well here. A big piece of furniture, whoops, my hand's shaking, sorry. A big piece of furniture would have closed in that wall, and I wanted to see through it and just have a little brightness. So my desk, again, organized. I have a journal problem, guys, so I like to see my journals out, but that's gotten overrun. Inspiration books, my binders of tiles are there. This has become a little bit of a mixed media area, which I really haven't done much mixed media, but I'm starting to make books and just expand my knowledge a bit. So that's what's up there, or what's on the table. All of the shelves, again, are organized, but need to be cleaned out. As you can see, it's overflowing. I could certainly find things, but I have so much stuff in here that isn't needed anymore. So what happens is, I have this great cart in front of me that I can wheel around. So this really comes in handy during the retreat. I can wheel this around when supplies come in handy, or come in to the studio. I can move it around. Behind there is all of these cubbies that are great again, but are overflowing. The flowers you see up on top, up here, this is what I used to do in my business. Those are paper watercolor flowers, and I used to make arrangements with them. So I have kept them. My bigger ones I have kept, not all of them. So all of these arrangements up here are paper. I created my own patterns. I watercolored the petals, made all different kinds of arrangements for them. So I'm not ready to get rid of them. They look kind of pretty. They take up nice space up there, but you know, that's where they are. And then we're getting into a little bit of the shipping, papers that I need, extra supplies, officey stuff. Really not a great efficient use of space. I do still have a fax machine, which does come in handy every now and then. And then behind here is in that cabinet are all my raw supplies, unused class kit type thing. So my goal of this project, and we're going to see what happens in a couple months. Right now I'm recording this very, very early on, and I just wanted you all to see my starting point. I love my studio. I really could work in this. It's organized enough to work in it, but it's becoming closed in. And I think we really need to just kind of go through and clean things out. Every year I would spend 2 weeks doing a little bit of a clean out. This one is going to be a bit bigger. I want to change my tables. I want to get some tables that can raise and lower. I want to get them on wheels so that I could move them around as projects need to have different spaces. And that's the plan. Now, what's going to happen in 2 months? I don't know, but you have right now the raw image. I really can't believe I let you all see this, so cross your fingers. I hope that when I do this again in 2 months or however long, that it's just more inspiring than it is right now. So thanks for watching. Wish me luck. I can't believe I let you all see that. It's a bit embarrassing to see how much things had gotten away from me. But I know a lot of you can relate, and I ask for grace in there. But I really wanted to be honest about where I started in this because it really was a big project. So I'm going to go ahead and show you my thinking process about how I even approach this space, and you'll get to see the brand new studio space that's sitting behind me. I've been working in it for a week already, and I just love it. So I can't wait to share it with all of you, and I'm super happy that you're here.